Welcome to the Screen Rot Podcast, the podcast where we discuss the weirdest and worst content that's been rot on our screens and indeed our minds. Shout out to everyone who subscribes to us either on Apple, YouTube or Spotify, doing us a fucking big favour if you're doing that, especially if you review as well. Big shout out to the patrons who pay for this podcast, the Freemasons on the $3.99 a month. I don't know what that was.
I think it was Nelson Muntz, wasn't
like
it?
A Simpsons thing, wasn't it? Freemasons, they pay $3.99 a month. They get an extra hour-long episode of this every single week. They also get priority access to tickets to live events that do sell out on the Patreon side, especially in Manchester and Brighton. The Illuminati pay $5.99 a month. They're getting a free hat as well as all that, and access to the weirdest group chat in the world. A big shout out to Eugene, who runs our Twitter account.
Sent by God.
He was sent by God. Big wing and a kiss. Mwah! To the ladies who listen, who are, and I've checked, by the way, I don't just say this. I won't lie on the internet. No. I look. I spend my evenings checking. The ladies who listen to this podcast are the most gorgeous and sexy ladies in the United Kingdom. And I'm here with Jake Farrell.
What a week. What a week for the Screen Rot boys.
Talk to me.
Nelson Muntz there as well in the intro.
I don't know what happened.
Do you want to do that again? I don't think you could do that again. Can you even remember what you did? Is this all just a fugue state for you? Do you even know that you do a podcast? You're like in Severance, but your job is that your memory just gets wiped every time you come into the podcast studio.
I honestly, for me...
Microphone.
It's so... Do you know what I was about to say?
Go on.
I was about to say that it's lucky that I found podcasting because it's my life's calling.
Right.
Whilst...
Holding the microphone away from your mouth. Yeah. You're a natural. You're a savant.
Chatting bollocks and making silly noises.
No, chatting bollocks is your life calling.
Yes.
Putting it on a recorded medium and the technical prowess that entails, that's slightly different, yeah.
But yeah, no, big week. Tell him tell him, Dre, what's happening?
Tell him, Dre, wow. The tour went on sale this week, and the response has been wonderful.
It has. Thank you so much to everyone who's bought tickets to see us do make these noises live.
Yeah. See Jacob do a half-assed Nelson Muntz impression for an hour.
I don't know what that was. I don't know where that came from. Thank you to everyone who's bought tickets. As we record, so we're recording the Friday that things went on general sale.
Yeah.
There are tickets left to 3 of the dates. Leeds, Bristol...
Glasgow.
Yes, I'm a Glasgow man. We are going to announce Birmingham. That might have happened by the time you hear this. And London. There's something coming. But yeah, thank you to everyone who's bought so far. Massively appreciated. And thank you to Ian Sterling, who heard our podcast and was so taken aback, enjoyed our work so much, that he's going to do the same show on Comedy Central now, which, honestly, that's a compliment.
Every time this fake feud threatens to fizzle out, you go round to your garage, you go round to the mine garage, and you get a big jerry can full of petrol and you start pouring it over the fire again.
No, for people who don't know what I'm talking about, and this would have been 10 days ago now by the time you hear this. Comedy Central announced a show called...
This will be as out of date as the shows
Ian
that they've
Sterling
recorded.
Roasts the Internet, where Ian Sterling, voice of Love Island, takes the piss out of online content creators in a new series on Comedy Central. And it's basically this podcast, but on television.
Well, not really, is it?
No, it's not. We were joking when we said that. On social media, we both did a little joke and a laugh.
A little bit of banter.
A little bit of banter, yeah.
What we're known for. We're well known for our banter.
It's just good banter. Is that what Richard Key said after the
remember.
Sexist comments?
Yeah, I think it was.
It was just a bit of banter.
Yeah.
It was just
and
a
when
bit
I
of banter.
said you go around there any night of the week and you find Jacob hanging out the back of Ian Sterling, that was what I meant. It's just a bit of banter. When I said Jacob couldn't officiate a top-level football match, there's just a bit of banter, okay?
Anyway, no, we're joking.
Oh, if we got Keysy and Gray, that would be class. Me and you in Dubai, doing beIN Sports. They don't let us on Spotify anymore.
I wonder if we will ever get Qatar'd. Do you reckon we will ever get Qatar'd?
I mean, I think the day is coming ever closer.
I got one of my mates. It was his stag do a couple of years ago, and we all put in and got him a cameo from Andy Gray.
From Andy Gray.
And he's
what a hit, son!
Well, he was like, "Hello, Steve. I'm coming to you from the beautiful city of Doha," and then just like peeks the phone over his like balcony of his apartment, just fucking deserts. Look at that, the beautiful city of Doha.
You cannot go outside for more than 10 minutes. It's fantastic.
Yeah. He does look like that Fantastic Five character. You know, the big fucking Gollum bloke.
Oh, that's
You
not
know,
the Fantastic Five. You mean the Goonies? Yeah,
I don't know.
same thing.
I don't
Enid
know.
Blyton.
Anyway, we're having a good laugh.
And if we do, yeah, I'll go to Doha with you if you want. I reckon Emma might take a bit more convincing, but you and I in Doha in some airless, windowless studio, just talking
Well,
about.
do you know what?
talking about
I'll tell
screen
you
rock.
what. 4 minutes in, mate, you are getting us dangerously close to topic.
That's true.
The
actually,
gentleman we're speaking about today has been Qatar'd.
yeah.
He's
well,
been
he's
Doha'd.
Qatar'd himself.
He's Qatar'd himself. No, that's correct. He's not been exiled. He's not.
No.
As far as we know.
He didn't say something sexist about a lineswoman.
No, I think he could, but I don't think he has yet. What's going on in your life? Give me an update, please.
You say this to me every fucking week, and every fucking week it's the same.
Stick it
You're
on you,
doing
man.
my fucking head in,
Stick
and I
it
have to
on
go
you,
to
man.
work.
Stick it on you, man.
What's going on in your life?
on,
And it always
man.
is just an intro into like, oh yeah, my cat done a piss on me again.
She did.
Did she?
Yeah.
Again?
Well, I don't think I've mentioned on the pod that she pissed on me, but yeah, my
Okay.
cat pissed on me. As everyone knows, tell them about what's going on in your life.
Nothing's going on in my life. I sit at home editing the podcast, trying to stop my wife divorcing me because I'm doing this fucking podcast. No one understands why. No one understands what I'm doing. I had a good job. I've got a good job. What do you want me to say?
You've got 2 good jobs now.
I've got 2 good jobs now. I've got 1.5 jobs.
Have you seen the other? Sorry, just to come back to the Ian Sterling thing.
Mm.
Like, what's mad is it was the first of 2 programs that he's been announced as doing.
Are you sure that one's not fake, the second one?
The second one is 100% true.
No fucking way.
Are you-
The one about sand sculptures?
Yeah.
No way.
It's real.
I thought someone
Don't
had
laugh at his job.
I thought someone had photoshopped that.
Don't laugh at his job. That's real. Let me get it up. Describe it in the way that you remember it.
I think I saw someone post, and it was the same pictures, the same press shot that they used for the kind of roast the internet one. So I thought it was a joke, and it said that Ian Sterling was going to be the host of some kind of Great British Bake Off, but instead of baking, it's sand sculptures.
Race Against the Tide.
Wow, that's quite a good name actually.
On a stunning Scottish beach, 8 talented teams go head-to-head in a high-stakes contest, not only competing against each other, but also against Mother Nature to produce amazing sand sculptures. The twist is the ticking clock of the incoming tide.
That's amazing.
That
feels
that
like
Alan Partridge meme where it's
Yeah,
like, Ian Sterling, Race Against the Tide.
I really love stuff where it feels like they've started with the name first and work backwards from there.
Yeah.
What could Race Against the Tide be? Race Against Time, Race Against the Tide, Rotten Screen, Screen Rot.
Yes. Yeah.
So he's got 2 jobs this week, as have I, yeah.
You've got 2 jobs. You're double jobbers. I feel like I've got a double job with my fucking kitten factory. that
Yeah,
I'm
kitten
They're
factories.
nearly out. They're nearly
nearly
gone.
out.
Actually, by the time this comes out, they might be just about gone. The kittens, I will say, are wonderful.
Right.
Like honestly, just good kids. Do you know what I mean? They're mucking about. They're toilet trained.
Jacob Hawley, controversial opinions. Kittens are nice.
They're toilet trained. They're beautiful.
Right.
And it is a thing of like, you know, if you're feeling a bit down and dumb, stick a kitten on you, you feel good.
Not for me, mate. I don't like them, but anyway.
I don't know. I reckon if I got
Do you
you around
reckon
here and I put my little
they'd convert
bootsy,
me?
little bootsy, if she
Bootsy.
went on you.
Yeah, I thought, so you sent me a video, or I saw a video of your beautiful daughter naming one of the kittens.
Yes.
I thought that was a bold move, given that they're going to be ripped away from her in about 2 weeks. It's like you don't name
that's
you
the
don't name
point.
the Christmas goose, do you? Do you know what I mean? Oh, there goes Bootsy, the Christmas goose.
No, but she's been told from the beginning that they're all going to go.
Oh, and I'm sure she'll be fine
Do you
with
know
it
what?
when they
do. You know
do.
what? My kids more so than most kids are kind of like not attached.
To you.
No, they are attached to me. No, but I mean to stuff.
To stuff.
Basically,
What they've gone zen.
They
They've
get in trouble now.
all
Basically,
worldly possessions.
My missus's dad, who was that little fucking Japanese woman on Netflix? who
Don't
just,
say little Japanese. You always
No,
say
no, it's
you're always saying like moody Polish woman, angry Slovak man. You're always doing this. Just say Japanese woman.
Okay,
Marie Kondo. You're talking about Marie Kondo.
right. This is my fucking life. Yeah, this is what happens in my life. My father-in-law. Oh God, Lana does listen. My missus does listen. Okay, I think my father-in-law wants to fuck Marie Kondo.
Right. I think everyone's father-in-law wants to fuck Marie Kondo.
he's a single man.
Yeah.
My missus' dad.
Right.
Right. He lives alone on a boat in Lanzarote.
Right.
Old Irish fella. As if you ever want to, if you're looking for an out of work Irish man with a bit of time on his hands, get to Lanzarote. They're all there. National dish is fucking stew. It's mad, right? Honestly, if you go there,
Right.
And they've got that thing that Irish fathers do where they just walk all the time.
Nice.
You'll just see them plodding up and down the fucking beaches of Lanzarote,
Yes.
Speedos on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway. So I think he was just scrolling on Netflix, looking for something to watch one night. Documentary. Doesn't watch any fiction because there's too much risk of joy coming into his life with fiction. Do you know what I mean? So documentary. Keep it bleak.
Yeah.
And he ended up on Marie Kondo. I think he fell in love with her from watching her stuff. So he's now, and he's a bit kind of Buddhist and all that stuff anyway. My father-in-law. So he's like just being everything. My missus is. She listens to him quite a lot, basically, which I'd find mad. And so she is now being everything. So like the amount of times I'll come home, and it'll honestly. And the thing is, my parents are the complete opposite. My parents are like borderline hoarders.
Right.
They're tat people.
Yes.
They like tat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Christmas comes around, all they want to do is just fill my house with tat.
B&M bargains.
They don't even. Oh my god, they're obsessed with shit like that.
Yeah,
they are Dunelm people. They are B&M bargains.
My mum's known to frequent Dunelm.
They're obsessed with this shit. And so when it comes to Christmas time, like I don't know, we'll get a fucking. I'm trying to think of it. Like my
Bootsy
parents.
the Christmas goose is in the oven.
Well, right, yeah. Again, like it wouldn't be this, but so my kids like Bluey, as many kids do.
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised, even though these things are completely defunct nowadays, if my parents bought my kids a Bluey mouse mat.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Or a pencil case.
Just anything with Bluey on
shit.
it. Yeah.
Just some shit. Just branded shit. And within, I don't mind saying, because they don't listen, and my missus will get worried about this, I don't care. Within hours of them giving that shit to my kids, my missus has got it in a bin bag by the door ready to go to a charity shop.
Wow.
My kids are now already kind of like blue-pilled into like, things just go to the charity shop, and it's good
and
it's good to let things go to other people.
Right.
And the whole
and you think they're going to be the same about the cats?
Well, they are from the very beginning, and it's my missus is quite good at being like, we do this because we nothing is ours forever. It's ours for a bit, and then other people can enjoy the things. So similar with the cats, it's ours for a bit, and then the other people will enjoy the cats. So already there's a bit of like, they're going to go and live somewhere else, and another kid will get to cuddle Bootsy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I do wonder it's going to go too far, and the kids by the age of like 7 are going to have a genuine kind of like, nothing's real, nothing material matters, and we're all going to reinvent ourselves in the afterlife anyway, so it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean?
I wouldn't worry about that because I think that the way that they feel about Bootsy the beautiful kitten and the Bluey mouse mat are going to be quite different. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
Let's see. But I'll tell you what, if the fucking mother cat, if Mango, the one that was driving you mad, I was always on her side. She's got postnatal depression now.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking hell. She, as I said,
she needs to watch a bit of Marie Kondo.
Last week, my little girl's got flu.
Yes.
Wet the bed, bless her.
Sorry, is Mango
so ill.
the second? No,
my daughter. My daughter wet the bed. Go up there. New duvet cover, new mattress protector, new bed sheet. We all get in bed. The cat just jumps on the bed and just starts pissing as well. I honestly, I was close to just fucking pissing the bed myself at that point. I go, why don't I? Do you know, if you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
Then fucking.
You're up to your eyeballs in new tonics as well, so you could easily piss the
mate,
bed at any point.
Honestly, I could piss anytime, anywhere. I reckon I could get it out of my eyes, the amount of energy drinks and caffeine I'm living on, because I'm not sleeping, because the fucking cat, she doesn't want to be a mum. She hates motherhood. She doesn't like the fact that they're feeding off of her. She doesn't like them, right? What she does, in the middle of the night, she picks them all up one by one, scruff of the neck with her teeth, drags them up the stairs, plops them at the bottom of my bed, and just starts screaming. Just being like, you fucking deal with it. I can't do it anymore. And it's hard.
I love the way you read into her intentions. She always talks, when you vocalise like reported speech what you think Mango's saying, she always sounds like she's in an episode of EastEnders.
Well,
it's always like, I can't deal with this anymore.
Well, it's because, I mean, not to let you too much into my life with my missus, but like, there are times when my missus is like, Jakey, the cat won't stop moaning. And I'm like, you weren't too dissimilar, darling. The cat will drag the kittens up and go, I can't deal with this anymore. And then my missus will be like, make her shut up, and I'm like, oh god, I've got to feed her, stroke her, whatever, do something to calm her down. Within an hour, my missus is basically throwing the kids at my feet and going, I can't deal with this anymore. I can't just give you a fucking Whiskas pouch, can I? Anyway, this week, ladies and gentlemen,
we're going to need some more patrons to pay for the divorce. Please sign up. We're going to do a crowdfunder.
Sign up to the Patreon, ladies and gentlemen. There's great stuff going on there.
Bit of admin on that, just a bit of boring admin.
Are you going to talk about the rock bar?
No, I wasn't. But we should talk about that.
Yeah.
Boring bit of admin. I mentioned this before, but it's happening more and more. Apple, if you sign up for the Patreon via the app, the Patreon app, you pay more, but we don't get any more money.
Is that what those £9 things keep being?
Yeah, that's right.
So they're taking 50% off them?
Something like that, yeah.
Wow.
It's an extra charge.
Don't fucking click Apple, and if you have clicked, go back and check, because you might be getting massively overcharged.
No. So, like, anyone...
Oh, no, don't do that.
Anyone that signed up after December, this only came into force in December, so anyone that signed up before December, don't worry about it. You're completely normal. It's completely fine. If you signed up via the app after December, that's when Patreon and Apple started having this row. You might be getting charged a bit more to pay for the Apple services.
That's true.
That money doesn't come to us. So you can just sign up straight through Patreon. You can save yourself money. We get the same amount of money.
So do that. Patreon members, the Rock Bar will be starting. That is our live streamed show, similar to the Sports Bar on TalkSport, where you will be able to call us and talk to us and swear at us and commit crimes yourself.
Yeah.
That's on the 9th of April. I think Arsenal are going to beat Real Madrid on the 2nd of April.
Exciting.
8th of April.
8th of April.
Yeah, I think we'll get through. I think in terms of the line height of our defence, they might not have the pace to get behind us, even with Mbappe.
What's the field tilt going to look like? What's the field tilt going to look like, brother?
I'll kill myself. And yeah, London dates come in, Birmingham dates come in. Thank you if you do sign up. Let's get into it.
One final thing before we do.
Oh, sorry, more admin. Yeah.
We haven't mentioned him in a while, but a lot of people have been asking. The song at the start of our podcast, at the end of our podcast, is called Money. It's by Jose Jr.
That's
He's got
right.
a new album out called Spanish Leather on Spotify. It's class. You'll love it. There's an amazing video for one of his songs called Projections. Go and watch it. Go and listen to it. He's the man. He'll be back in London soon, and he'll be playing shows. You should go and watch them.
Yes.
That's all the admin. Sorry.
Oh, and we're being trained by a personal trainer called Zach Southall. If you want to get into this shape, bow! I don't know why I'm doing that. Then episode description. Let's get into it.
Let's do it.
This is. I really hope this guy's still viral by the time this comes out, because for the last week or so, it's been all anyone has spoken about.
Yeah.
So yeah, do you know his name?
Ashton Hall.
There we go, Ashton Hall.
Let's go. Oi, get on this.
I'm ready.
The viral sensation Ashton Hall.
Yeah. The video, the morning routine, is the most viewed video on Twitter ever.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
Yeah.
It was like it was being imprinted under my eyeballs. It's like every time I close my eye, is that the only thing I feel like I watched for like a week?
It felt like the news.
It did, yeah. It felt like the good old days.
It felt really important.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
It felt like it was like a kind of Christmas or New Year's level thing.
Yes.
That was, you have to see this.
Big week for Twitter.
Big week for Twitter, which is continuing to go from strength to strength.
Yeah, Twitter's just a normal place full of normal guys.
Under the great and very clever Mr. Musk.
Yeah, under the leadership of one of the most embarrassing, freakish men of all time.
That's right, yes.
If you like Elon, he has those kind of like defenders, his like little Doge boys.
I follow someone who used to be a Radio 1 Extra DJ who invested all of his money into Tesla and now spends a lot of time trying to big up Elon Musk, because obviously Tesla's share price has plummeted.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Because of his extracurricular activities.
That's correct. So I see a lot of this particular guy who's like a really nice, kind of cool, nice, just
really,
and very like Radio 1 DJ.
Okay.
But this guy's like, hey guys, the Tesla battery is actually the most effective EV on the market. And it's like, he's just done a swastika salute, man. Like, like your money's fucked. Why are you bothering? Just let it go. Like, just start again. He's
the most off-putting loser on earth.
Yeah. This guy's talking about battery size, and he's doing fucking.
I think it's such an amazing. It's such an amazing. Yeah, I know that guy just Kyled, but have you seen the efficiency on this battery?
Do you know what though? I was thinking that today. I was like, in terms of the like, I guess as an innovator and as an inventor and entrepreneur, it kind of makes sense that he's the Tesla guy. But when you think of Tesla being like the brand for electric cars, which are in theory the best thing for the environment
for climate
behind
change.
an electric plane,
yeah,
it's weird that it's him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Yeah, it's a really contradictory thing. And for a while, he was the darling of the kind of, I mean, there's no real left to speak of in America, but like the kind of centrist, like coastal elite kind of,
Yeah.
he was the Tony Stark guy.
Yeah,
Epic bacon guy. And it was just like all the kind of people driving their Teslas in New York or whatever. And now he started sea-kyling. I think it's an amazing thing that like, a billionaire can be a commercial, like can be a commodity or a thing that people can be a fan of. It's like, imagine someone being a fan of like Andrew Rockefeller in the 1920s, that you work down one of his mines in Pennsylvania or something.
Even
it's like
you don't get like Jeff Bezos fans. Do you know what I mean? You don't really. I guess it's less of a personality thing.
Yeah, I guess so. I think Bezos would like that though. That's what he tried to do when he got jacked and he got that like
That's right.
plastic surgery wife. But yeah, I think Zuckerberg is even more pathetic, I think, because he's kind of like tried to go epic bacon off the back of Elon Musk.
Is he the Zuck now? Is that what he calls himself?
He calls himself the Zuck. He looks like he's kind of got a perm. He looks like my nan used to look like when she was like 50.
It's absolutely crazy that like the billionaires and like the actual richest people on earth.
Yeah.
Like they can't just they don't know how to dress themselves.
No.
Do you know what I mean? It's like they are like I don't quite believe the lizard thing. I do look at especially Musk sometimes. You've seen his chest.
Yes, he looks like a barrel. He looks like a barrel with two Capri Sun straws.
Men
sticking
aren't
out
supposed to look like that. I do think there might be something going
something
on.
Lizardy going on.
Well, not quite lizardy. I do wonder. So I drive an electric car.
Yeah.
Right, and with mine, the battery is on the floor. Do you know what I mean by that?
No, I don't.
So the actual floor of the car,
right,
where you put your feet.
Yeah, I don't know what a floor is. Yeah, just
underneath the underside of that,
yeah,
and underneath the bonnet is a battery.
Right.
And I look at and if you actually once I say that to you, if you were to look at my car, you'd be like, yeah, it's a bit sort of chunkier and thicker than it would be, isn't it? It's not. That's not what an Axis would be.
Right.
And once you think about that, and then you look at Elon Musk, you do start going, have you put a fucking battery in your chest? Honestly, you look at him and you go, have you got a fucking battery in there?
Oi, oi!
No.
Muskie!
Not even like a. No, it's like, all right, if that's what you want, you can have a battery. But is that a fucking battery? I've told you in terms of eugenics. We will talk about Ashton Hall.
Fuck me! In terms of eugenics. Do you know what eugenics means?
Eugenics is when you change the human body for the advantage of the.
Eugenics is like selective breeding for characteristics. It's like propagated by the Nazis.
Okay,
I thought that's why you're bringing it up.
No, sorry. So what in terms
like
of
transhumanism?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So modifying the human body,
which is what Musk is into as well. Yeah.
And I like he's got a battery in him.
Do you reckon he's got a battery in him?
100. Look at that chest again.
That sounds like slang for when a woman has got a large bust.
Yeah.
She got that battery in her.
She got that battery in her, girl. I've got to stop doing that. I don't know how that started. That can't become my noise. That can't become your thing. Men of class is my anyway.
Right.
Elon
he's
Musk
got a battery.
I think he's got a battery in his chest. Yeah,
okay.
and anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, literally just Google him on your phone right now. He's got a battery in his chest, and he is more energetic than a man of that age should be. I think he's got a battery in his chest. I've always theorized that the next kind of thing will be that we modify our brains.
Yes. Chips and stuff.
Yeah, so in terms of like the phones, they're going to go inside our skulls. That's next.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What does that mean for the podcast? That's probably good for the podcast.
I think so.
Yeah.
Easy,
I mean, I only think about
to download the clips.
Yeah.
I could just airdrop the clips.
I only think about issues now through the lens of is it good for the podcast?
I know, and it will be. It will be good for the podcast. People won't need to put their AirPods in to listen to us. They could just beep boop beep boop and listen to scream like that.
Millions of people will die, but it'll be good for the podcast.
I don't think anyone will die. I've been saying this to my mate for years, and they hate that I say this. It really winds. I'm
going to love it then. I'm sure.
I'm right though.
All right.
I'm telling you, the first I think the last kind of big thing was the internet. In terms of like inventions and the development of the human race and what they did, yeah.
So the internet was what, like 1991-ish?
Yeah.
So since then, nothing's
mid-90s. We've had phones, and that's kind of a thing, but it's just a computer, really.
It's just another version of the internet.
The next thing that's coming, I'm fucking telling you now, this will be it. And I tell you what, we'll try and close the loop and get back to Ashton Hall, but he'll have this fairly early. He'll be an early adopter of this.
Right.
Close your eyes, you can see the time.
That's the next big invention.
That will change the world.
What? Okay.
That will be the next big thing. I'm fucking this. What I'm looking at right now, the back of my eyelids. I will see the time, and in time that'll become a homepage, just like the front of your phone.
Yeah, okay.
It'll all just be there.
Because now works the other way. You have to open your eyes to see the time.
Yeah.
But you're saying you'd have to close your eyes to see the time.
And it'll just be there whenever you want.
But
Close your eyes,
eventually,
see the
when
time.
you close your eyes, it'll be your home screen.
99% of what's going wrong with the world is productivity issues, right? We're doing things too slowly. We're making mistakes too often, yeah?
Yeah.
I honestly believe this.
If people could see the time.
If everyone can see the time,
Yeah.
right, there's no excuse to be late anymore. How can you be late if you can see the time when you close your eyes? I slept in. Really? What? Sorry, you mean you were sat there with your eyes closed? You didn't get up? That honestly, every workplace in the world, is affected by time management.
For sure.
The hospitals, the banks,
Yeah.
the space stations, everywhere.
Mhm.
Time management fucks it.
For sure.
People being late, people taking too long to do things.
Because they can't see their time.
Go on,
Yeah.
because you can see the time now.
Yeah, you can see the time.
That is I'm telling you, that's the next thing.
Okay, that's good to know. Okay. How can we invest in that? We can invest in that technology. Maybe we could get you done as like a prototype, but you could just get one time tattooed on you.
Do you not think that will happen?
I believe that they are trying to do some kind of transhumanist stuff where they will put like web interfaces in glasses or in our brains or in our eyes.
What's the first thing you put on a web interface?
It's the time.
Laptop, phone. Thank you. My mate, I used to tell my mate that when he was like, after we'd had long nights where we couldn't sleep because of coke, and he was like, I would kill myself so quickly. Imagine being laying awake.
Well, you can't turn it off.
No.
Oh, it's always there.
No, because if you start turning it off, you'll all start being fucking late again, taking too long over
How are you
lunch.
going to get to sleep?
Huh?
That would make me so anxious as I'm trying to get to sleep, as I can see the hours ticking
Yeah, well,
away.
it's going to start separating the wheat from the chaff in terms of stuff like that. Let's get back to the subject. So Ashton Hall, basically, as Jake was describing, last week, this tweet just went fucking mental of this geezer doing his morning routine.
Yeah.
And I think we're probably as any episode goes, we're probably as good as any to just start and just watch.
Do you know what? I don't think I finished the sentence or I get on
Sorry.
this. No, that's not your fault. I think someone's going to post that otherwise. I think you said Twitter. I think my oi get on this was going to be metrosexuality is back.
Ooh.
But anyway, that just dawned on me as we said it.
Okay.
But this thing went mental on Twitter.
Yes, and hold on to that thought that after this went big, Jake decided it's the return of metrosexuality.
Yes.
Jude Law, Alfie.
Yes.
Hugh Grant.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brill cream.
Brill cream.
Moisturizer.
Shiny hair.
Yes.
Moisturizer. Like not
hairless chest.
like erections, but not horrible ones. Do you know what I mean?
Go on.
Like slightly softer and smaller penises that are still hard enough to do the job. Do you know
is there such thing as like a threatening erection?
100%.
Have you ever had a threatening erection?
Yes.
Like when was the last time you saw it?
I've had some that the missus doesn't like. I definitely have. I've had some she
The
doesn't like.
timestamp people are going to fucking kill themselves.
I've had some that she doesn't like.
She doesn't like?
Yeah.
You just look at it and go, that's not for me.
Jakey, put it away! Why is it like that? To be fair, I don't think the erection ever changes. I think it's the context.
Right. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In the kitchen in the morning, that's a threatening one. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Under the sheet at night,
So she's
that's
never...
welcome.
Yeah, okay. But you've never been like, all right, let's get into it. And then she's seen it and then gone, no, not for me, not today. It's more like you've got one in the car.
Well, I'm not flashing her, but
sometimes you're knocking about.
I'm surprising her, yeah. We're gonna get to jail for this one. Right, come on, let's get into it quick.
So I think, which one do we actually want to do? Because there's two versions of it.
Do the one that went viral.
Okay, so this is Ashton Hall with his viral morning routine.
He looks like, by the way, if we just look at this image,
I'll put that up. Fuck off.
He looks like a prisoner of war.
He does, yeah. So the famous thing, if you will have seen it, but the famous thing about him is he's got a thing around his nose to aid his breathing, and then he's got this thing that a number of kind of grindset people do, where he's got tape over his mouth. But it does look like he's about to kind of be black bagged by the CIA. And like extraordinary rendition to a black site in Syria. That's where he's going to be tortured for the Obama for the Osama coordinates. Anyway, this is Ashton Hall, 3:52 a.m. This is his 1 minute and 25 long daily routine. So
should we describe it for the audio listeners? So he's brushing his teeth. The mouth guard has come off.
The famous blue water bottle.
Sparkling water. Little swill of that and spit. He's onto the balcony. Shirtless. Press ups. Now he's squatting. Now he's just looking at you. Time is just passing. He's now sat at a desk He sort of closes his eyes for a bit.
It's not even 5 a.m. yet.
He's just watching shit on his phone now.
I think he's watching God stuff there.
Ice and water in a bowl that he's dipped his face in now. Now he's put some shorts on, finally, and a vest. Now some socks, trainers.
Never wears. I don't think he wears socks. Actually.
He puts on his jewellery that he wears for exercising, and now he's got his keys and his shotter bag, and he's off to. He's going down an elevator. Okay, he's running now, in a gym. He's leaving the gym. There's a pool. Shoes off for the pool. Into the pool. 5 minutes passed while he was in midair. He's out of the pool into a cold plunge. I think there's someone cleaning and giving him a towel.
It's very Dubai, the whole thing.
He's home. He's showering. He's washing his hair. He's eating a banana, rubbing banana peel on his face, washing his face with water. Someone else had brought him another bowl of water with ice, and now he's on the phone. Someone's cooking breakfast for him.
It's a little personal chef lady by the looks of things.
And now, yeah, he's
another
eating
bottle of sparkling
breakfast
water
with some sparkling water, and we're out.
I think a friend of the show, Jimmy Mack, he was one of the first people that. Well, he had like an insanely mega viral tweet about it where he's like, I'm just obsessed with this guy who does absolutely nothing of note for 4 hours before any of us wake up. And that is I still think the truest kind of encapsulation of what's going on. He's not doing anything.
What is it, 3:45?
Yeah.
He kind of gets up.
Wakes up at 3:45.
Yeah. And just sort of mooches around.
Just sort of mooches about a bit.
Just sort of potters.
It's like my granddad. My granddad always used to struggle sleeping.
Yeah, that's it. It's like
just
old
kind
people.
Of pottering about
old people do that. Old people will just sort of like mooch around, watch the telly, and fuck around.
Yeah, I think it's arthritis usually. That's what gets you. You can't sleep.
Well, I think with old boys, it's they're pissing all the time, isn't it? They're just pissing. But yeah. So he gets up. What does he do? He the first thing is he gets his fucking mouth guard off, brushes his gnashers. I mean, do you know? Ironically, the only other person I know who gets up and around at that time is Tom Skinner.
Yes. Yeah. He's down Dino's Cafe by 5.
He's in Dino's by 4.
Oh, really?
A lot of the time it's 4. Yeah.
He's having a chicken pie at 4.
Yeah. Well,
Christ.
I think he gets in there at 4 and sits around filming himself for an hour, which, to be fair, is his job. Like, this Ashton Hall guy, as you say, he's doing nothing. He's rubbing bananas on his face. He does about 6 press-ups as quick as he can.
Yes.
And then just sort of stares into the distance for a bit.
Yeah.
Plunges his face in ice twice, I counted.
Yeah, so there's a lot of that. And that's why I think the
like
metrosexuality stuff's coming through. Yeah, he could, like, my best mate, Andy.
Yeah.
He's, like, kind of almost robotic in how well he's able to do his morning routine. So when he used to live in Letchworth, he used to have like 25 minutes between his eyes opening and him being on the train.
Wow.
And in that time, he would like shower, grab his stuff, cycle to the thing. Like he was just like, he had it down to such a fine art, shave in the shower and everything. And this guy's the opposite. He could wake up at 7 and still do all of this stuff by 8.
Easy. And there's a great argument to be made that he would be more productive and stronger in the gym.
Yeah.
If he hadn't been awake for 3 hours, just
he looks all right to be fair.
Around. I mean, he's on steroids.
Yeah, he's on steroids.
Yeah.
But so the thing that caught people's eye a lot is this kind of iconic blue bottled water, sparkling water,
and which the sales of which have gone fucking crazy.
They must be involved somehow, surely.
If
not, they've just had the best week of their lives.
I'd say there's some branded content there. I'd say there are other guys who want to look fit and jacked who are seeing this guy by the water and then are saying, yes, I will buy the water.
I'm going to plunge
so that
my
I
face
look fit
in
and
there.
Jacked. And if there are any water companies or beer companies...
or bleach companies for that matter.
Bleach companies that would like to sponsor us to sit here and have a little sip of their products, just a little sip of bleach while we do the Screen Rock podcast, Mr. Muscle, get in contact. But I will say, with Ashton Hall, I didn't get what it was. Like I was like, okay, this is your minute. Why are you showing me this? Who are you?
Yes.
What do you want?
Yeah.
And it turns out
that's a threatening erection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Put that away.
Oh god, that's one thing you don't see. Now, okay, let's get into this.
You wanted to see his cock, did you?
No, I didn't want to see it. No, I didn't want to see it. Well, we'll talk about that.
I play.
Am I going to admit this? Yeah. Well, what's your morning routine?
I mean, just what everyone does. I wake up, I make coffee, I have a shower.
Mm-hmm. You're not doing the whole take time before having coffee.
No.
Drink water.
No, the whole point of the morning routine is to minimise the time between my eyes opening and the first bit of coffee hitting my mouth. I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast, but there was a thing doing the rounds, and I think it was a Huberman thing. You know, that big jacked psychologist bloke.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was like, oh, coffee actually doesn't work in the first hour that you're awake because it acts on some kind of system in your brain.
Fucking bollocks.
Yeah, right.
Unless everyone on the planet is like, placeboed and just imagining it.
And he was like a brain
Fucking
surgeon.
bollocks.
And I remember being like, that's one of those things where I was like, nah, that's fucking bullshit, mate.
Yeah.
So that's my morning routine, yeah. Wake up, do the coffee, usually take my missus a coffee.
That's right.
Then I'm off to work.
Yes. Now, I don't mind admitting to you, and here's the thing. When my missus is home and my children are around,
yes,
it's never very structured because our kids are young enough that like most nights it's been a bit of there's been some musical chairs in the night, who sleeps where,
right.
Come in our bed, back in your bed, no, fine, okay, blah, blah, blah. We're always tired. So yeah, it's usually I will get up every now and then. I'll be going to the gym, so I'll get up a bit quicker and just not shower but get dressed.
Right.
Always make a coffee for the missus. That's a big thing to me. I make her coffee every single morning. I will till the day that I die, and then someone else will start doing it after I've passed.
Yeah.
I plan on passing first.
What are you going to do when her new husband's there at the house? Are you still going to make the coffee then, or what?
I'll just drop it off outside. Drop it off outside and just open the letterbox and go, hope you're having a good one.
Jakey, don't put that through the letterbox. That's threatening.
Do you, when your missus goes away,
yeah,
are you still getting up the same way?
If it's a work day, yeah.
If it's not?
Yeah, probably still the same. Why? What are you up to? Oh, do I want to know?
Well, here's the thing. I obviously don't, a lot of the time, I don't have a reason to get out of bed necessarily, right? I'm an evening worker.
Yes. Professionally, you don't have a reason to get out of bed.
Well, I mean, we could go a step further if you want. And why not join BetterHelp for therapy? No, but I mean, yeah, what I mean is, I don't have anywhere, a lot of the time I don't have anywhere to be in the morning. I'll have things to do in the morning.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You're not a salary slug like me. I'm at my desk at 8.
I'm not a salary slug. I just the things I can do are often on my laptop. It'll be editing bits of this or posting something, maybe even having a video call. But it's stuff that I can do from the bed.
Right.
And so I do find when my missus, and this will happen because my missus is Irish, two or three times a year, she'll disappear back to Ireland with both kids. So I'll be left alone in the house.
Yes.
And I revert to my kind of like basic student state of, I'll eat a lot of shit. I will kind of never... Like when the missus and kids are here, even though I could work whenever, I try and stick to a fairly like 9 to 5, be done by 5 to be around the kids, spend the morning, get the kids in school, blah, blah.
All bets are off when they're away.
And I'm kind of just constantly half working, but not really concentrating and not doing it very quickly. But what I do find, and again, it's quite a gross thing to admit to, but I'm hoping that there are men who will listen who will relate to this. I do find there's no reason to get out of bed. And so I've branded this technique in my head. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Please. No, I don't, but I can't wait.
Okay, well, I wank myself awake. I wank myself out of bed. I basically, what I do... Oh, God, this is a real grim thing, but I don't mind.
Try and keep it cheeky here, rather than sex pest.
Well, no, it's not sex pest. I'm not doing anything weird, but basically, I'm like, the only way that I am going to have to get out of this bed and have a shower is if I wank on myself, come on myself, and have to wash it off.
No, I think that might have to go.
No, it doesn't have to go!
That's so gross. That's so unbelievably gross.
It's true. There are other men who will be able to relate to this. I'm fucking telling you.
Me.
I
didn't think you were going to say on your... Oh, my God.
I have to wake myself up. I look at myself and I'm like, there's no reason to move. And I look at the calendar and I'm like, I'm editing stuff. I'm writing a bit of something for a sitcom or whatever. I'm doing this. I'm like, fucking hell, it's all laptop stuff. It's all phone stuff till like 3 in the afternoon. I'm not going to move. What will get me out of bed? Coffee? I'll just come back to bed. I need a reason to have a shower and get out of bed. So what do? I wank myself out of bed. If there's that horrible little pool around my belly button, I have to wash it.
So there's a famous story. I think it was JFK.
It's a lot higher than the belly button, by the way, because it's massive. But
fucking shut up. It's fucking gross. JFK used to have this thing. I think it was him, where...
This is this podcast distilled.
Gross.
That I go from saying that to you referencing John F. Kennedy.
So he used to have this thing. Well, I think it was his dad. The way that one of them walked home from school, there was a version of it where you could walk around the long way, or you could jump over a wall, but it was quite a hard wall, and that would give you a shortcut. So what he used to do was he used to chuck his hat over the wall, and
then he'd have to do the
difficult thing, because if he came home without his hat, his dad would kick his head in.
Okay.
And what you're saying is, your version of that is...
Cover myself in semen.
Shut! Stop saying it like that!
You're leading to it. I have to say
I'm saying have a tug or a hand shandy, something, a funny way of saying that, not cover myself in semen. What is this? You fucking Bonnie Blue? Jesus Christ! Oh man, I think this might be the end. People might not want to listen after this. Fuck me. I don't know how I feel about all this
If
stuff.
I'm the only person who does that, if I'm the only person who wanks themselves out of bed, then okay, hands up, fair. I'll be the creep.
Yeah.
I'll be disgusting, and we can all just say, "Oh, isn't he wrong?" Right? I fucking guarantee you, loads and loads and loads of people will say, "Yeah, I do that."
It's kind of putting me in mind of like Bobby Sands and the dirty protests of the IRA in some ways.
Yeah.
Mr. Warden, we will not stop wanking ourselves out of bed until we get better treatment. You can crack on, lads. You can do what you like. No, Mr. Warden.
Now, because you've done that, when I clip this into a reel, we're going to have to hashtag Ireland.
Hashtag real IRA. Hashtag provisional IRA. Hashtag provies.
Hashtag semen.
Hashtag semen. God above.
So that's my morning.
I don't know why that's really... I mean, you've said some stuff on this podcast, but I guess we're having honest and frank conversations about sex in our 30s.
That's the bluest thing that's been said on this podcast in a long time. So
how the fuck did... Okay, so we don't see Ashton Hall do that on his morning routine.
It wouldn't surprise me.
He's waking up early.
I would appreciate the honesty. If he were to say, you know what, guys... to come back to topic a little bit, I think what frustrates me about... Like, I believe that your mate Andy was sticking to that 25 minutes from opening my eyes to the train.
Yes.
And I believe that because despite the fact it's quite efficient and fast, it's also very lazy because he's staying in bed as long as
he
possible,
possibly
to
can.
the last possible minute.
I'm the opposite.
Out. So my mate Kane, who works at the barber shop that me and my mate run together... He won't mind me. He won't like me saying this because a lot of listeners do go to that barbershop. He, before living with his missus, he lived in a flat literally above the barbershop, right? And
still be late to work.
Oh, mate, it wasn't that he was necessarily late to work, but what he would do and what he did do, and I mean, you know, we try and be quite a nice place. But this is disgusting. People would go to the toilet in the barbershop. And they'd come out and say when they're not getting a haircut by Kane by someone else, they go, sorry, there's I don't know if you guys know, there's a toothbrush in the toilet.
Oh, right.
And we'd have to go, yeah, it's because they would have to go, yeah. So Kane lives upstairs. He wants to get out of bed as late as possible. He sets his alarm at 3 minutes to 10. His shift starts at 10.
Wow.
He gets down, brushes his teeth, and goes.
Right.
So, I guess I respect that because I think it's deep down it's lazy, and that's what we all are. The thing with the Ashton Hall thing,
he's just pottering.
But it's also bollocks. It's
it's
so obviously bollocks. It's so clearly not real. And if he was to say, "Hey guys, just to say, I went viral there. I don't do that every day. That's a good day. I have bad days. There are days I don't sleep too well. There's days I skip the gym.
Most days I wake myself awake." Yeah. But so I found it all, the whole thing, quite old-fashioned because I don't know if you remember the Mark Wahlberg thing where he. Like, this was 2 or 3 years ago, where he posted his like thing, and it was like, wake up at 2 a.m.
Why are they getting up so early?
Well, I think presumably they just go to bed at like 5 o'clock or whatever.
But this is my point. Like and you say this. You're a big sleep man. Yeah, you're like a sleep salesman. You walk around the UK telling people that they should sleep more.
Famously,
If you can make money out of it, you would be.
Yeah.
Right. But like. Same as Tom Skinner, as I say, who gets up at like 4 a.m. Yeah. But he says he's like, I'm fucking asleep by 8:30.
Yes.
It's like. And with him, I kind of get it because he's working. Yeah. He works. He lives in Essex. He travels into London, and he's got to avoid the M25 when it's busy.
Yeah.
It makes sense, and he goes to. He often goes to Smithfields Market, which is open all night.
Right.
It opens at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, fair. That's where Dino's is, right? Fair. This guy,
he's doing Zoom calls.
Why not just do it at 8? And then, you know what his job is? He's a personal trainer.
Yeah.
So he could do Zoom calls whatever time. Also, that at the end there. He does. There's a bit of him going like, "Come on, man, we got to get 10,000 next."
Yeah,
time.
I love that.
Right? And it's obviously like
The
fake.
biggest number he could think of.
Yeah, it might be that. It's also fake work talk.
Yes.
I think. Initially I was like, it's fake work talk, and he's pretending to be some like salesman who's trying to sell 10,000. Then I was like, he's a personal trainer, and I was like, do you know what I think he might be doing? I think he might be asking someone to get their steps up.
Maybe.
Do you know what I mean? He's on the phone to someone. He's on the same sort of fitness plan as we are with Zach Southall. And someone's like, I only did 6,000 steps that day because I was a bit tired. He's come on, man. We got to get 10,000.
And in order to do that, he's dressed like an estate agent as well. He looks like he should be showing you around a place in Dalston.
Either that or he's going to the Brits. Do you know what I mean? He's got like a vest and a suit on.
Yeah, this is Ashton. He's the lead singer of the new. But yeah, exactly. So I found the whole virality of it. It's a very recognisable template. Morning routines have been a thing for ages.
That's true.
Hustle and grindset culture has been a thing for ages. It had this added layer of metrosexuality where it's like he's really looking after himself. Do you know what I mean? Everything's very clean. It's a lot of ASMR almost.
Yeah.
And so that was the kind of new layer to it. It's obviously optimized for engagement because what's everyone's reaction? That's fucking bollocks. You don't do that. Fuck off.
Or that's mad.
Or that's mad.
Or questioning certain bits of it. I mean, that's the other thing that's quite clever is there's so many different elements you can question.
100%.
Why is he
banana
covering
on
his
the
mouth?
face?
What's the banana doing on his face? Why has he dunked his head 3 times in the water? Who's the woman who keeps giving him stuff?
Yeah.
Is it part of the patriarchy? It's like they're probably employees, but it's not great. But I kind of get your point. But I don't think that's necessarily the point of this. Yeah,
right,
exactly.
right. And it kind of inspired a lot of debate, I suppose, and that. But I found the whole thing quite a bit of a throwback, really. The whole circus
you
around
found it metrosexual. You found it kind of like
both in content and the way that people reacted to it on the internet. It was just a good old-fashioned 6 days of the same thing over and over again. Is it the dress? What colour's the dress? Like it kind of felt a bit like that.
I know what you mean. I mean, what was interesting is then going onto his Instagram, and there's a real crossover between kind of fitness guys and grind hustle guys, right? The grind hustle guys, be it Andy Elliott, who we've spoken about on this podcast before, the American kind of sales guy who coaches people to sell more. The Tates, who we're going to talk about, I think, in a separate episode. Like, they all do have a level of like, the only way to stay on it with work is to stay on it with fitness. And then so the fitness guys are like, the only way to stay on it with fitness is to stay on it with work. And so there's a lot of that. And then I looked on his page and like, despite the fact that nearly everyone I saw on Twitter was calling him a fucking mug. Yes. As we say, in a variety of different ways. He was over the moon.
Of course he was, yeah.
He was over the moon. And he was like he'd got like balloons delivered to his house being like 8 million views, guys. Do you know what I mean? He was like fucking delighted. And it's like, I've had a couple of experiences on Twitter over the last week or so. One of them in relation to a tweet kind of half taking the piss out of the hardest geezer. One of them hinting that they're, I mean, I wanted to hint, but then I wrote a Metro article where I didn't get to choose the headline, and it was a bit more kind of like, I was implying that I think there are racist undertones to the way that a certain Arsenal player is spoken about in both the media and fan discussions.
Yes.
The attention I got from both made me want to ask you to run my head over in a car.
Now that's a call I'd like to get.
Yeah.
Watcher, Jacob Hall here.
Just about to wank myself awake, Jake, but once I'm up, would you mind running me skull over? Be lucky. But
would I get to use your car, or would I have to do it in mine?
I use mine, yeah. There's no point breaking yours. You're going to need it. I won't.
That's a battery on the bottom of there.
But the thing with him, the whole world, I mean, like, and I'd say I really admired it. I
do think it was explicitly what he wanted, though.
The whole world is calling you a cunt, and you're managing to go, fucking nailed it,
yeah,
bro.
And we've got the reaction to that here. Do you want to watch that now? So this is Ashton's reaction.
Well, I think this is also the reaction to the fact that people are copying it.
Right, okay. Do you want to watch the copycat first?
No, so we can watch this,
We can watch this. Okay, so this is Ashton's reaction to what must have been a fucking weird week.
I came here to address the nonsense. So many videos are being sent to me, duplicates of my videos.
Copies.
This is for the creators that are sick and tired of their work being copied. Listen to me well. You're either going to be a leader or a follower, and it's okay to be either one, but you have to choose. If you're going to be a leader, people are going to follow you. What is the issue? I realize that God has me here to lead, not to follow anyone.
Lead.
So that's what
God has chosen you to make weird videos.
Now, I'm not perfect by any means. I used to get pissed off. The running videos, the ASMR with workouts, I'm not going to act like I'm a saint. I used to block anybody who was doing anything similar to me. That was me. I'm blocking them. Screw them. How could they copy my work? I worked so hard for this. What's wrong with this dude? Why do the same thing as me? What is up? Then I realized, bro, like, people follow Jesus. Why? Because he was great. As a Christian man, why are you angry if they're following you? Matter of fact, if you're doing something good with good intentions, this should be a great thing. So coming from someone who's been in your shoes, just know, if people are doing what you're doing after they see what you're doing is working for you, you're doing something right. Don't allow this to get you upset. This is the name of the game.
That is the name of the game. Some of us are followers, like me and Comedy Central. Some of us are leaders, like Jacob Hawley and Jake Farrell. After he wanks himself awake every morning, he's just like Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Whereas me and Comedy Central are merely followers and disciples, just like Judas, the rat snake.
Oh, I can't believe I didn't see that coming. That's fantastic. You in the EV. Watcher, Jacob Hawley here. Now, some people were leaders, right? Like Jesus. You know Jesus, didn't you? Geezer had a six-pack like that. Bosh. Yeah.
We needed a bit more semen off my... Oh, shit, sorry.
We needed
but no,
to hear
I am
that.
a leader.
We needed to hear that from Ashton last week, didn't we? Look, don't block them. Don't worry about them. Some people are leaders.
Imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And he is correct. Like, he is correct. Because the thing is, he did have a lot of people mugging him off. But then, and we can look at this, there are guys who were... And this is fucking shameless.
Right.
But this is a big thing in the fitness industry.
Right.
So obviously we have personal trainer, Zach Southall, who's working with both of us. I don't know about you. I'm genuinely seeing good results with Zach.
Yes.
I'll be honest with you. Initially with Southall, I think I was just put on a kind of like standard lose a bit of weight. And it was January. I definitely fucking needed to lose a bit of weight. I was a fat cunt, right? But then I lost like 6 kilos and I was like, boys, I want to get strong. And they said, okay, let's get you strong. And now they're getting me strong. Fucking happy. I'm personal best.
I'm letting them down a bit.
Every big lift. Huh?
I'm letting them down a bit.
You've got to wank yourself awake and work harder, mate. But I follow a few. There's a guy called Tom Brightman who I follow. Do you follow that guy?
No, I follow TM Cycles.
So TM Cycles is friends with Tom Brightman.
Right, okay.
TM Cycles, Tom Brightman, you can look these guys up. I've met and interviewed Tom Cycles for a previous project I did years ago. Lovely guy. They're both kind of personal trainers and content creators.
Yes.
And I think TM Cycles is now at the level of Ashton Hall, where he's not just coaching people to get fit, he's coaching personal trainers to get
grow their brand,
and learn how to be a content creator and make these kind of videos. Because the whole point is, I've said this to you a million times, you do not take fitness advice from the fat guy in the gym,
100%.
right? So these guys, a lot of like fitness people on the internet have realised you need to be a lifestyle influencer. You need to sell the whole lifestyle. You need to look at them and go, he's got a nice car, he's got a nice Rolex, he's got a good job, he's a nice missus, whatever. He hasn't got any cum on his chest, right? But he all of these things are good about this
so
guy's
much of
life.
it is discipline, right, in relation to
and
it.
I will commit to the program. I will train legs even though I don't really want to. I'll do fucking lunges around the gym even though it's embarrassing and the Moldovan men in my gym laugh at me when I do it. I will do them because I want to live a life like this. And so what's happening is like these guys have done BTECs and spent years learning how to do a correct squat with the correct form. None of them have been to fucking like a media school, editing school. So there is a lot of copying.
Yes.
When one of them has a good idea, they're not kind of, I don't want to sound patronising. I don't know what I'm fucking doing on the internet, but like they see someone else do something big, they go, well, I'll fucking try that.
Yeah.
And so that is this. We can watch that now. This is a kind of copycat killer of someone copying Ashton Hall.
For those of you listening, he's literally doing the same thing. He's got the dodgy mouth tape. He's putting on his little weird shoes. He's putting on a watch to go running, which is odd. It's all ASMR, quick cuts. He's making coffee now. You can hear every little bit of it.
And every appliance is beautiful and the kitchen is clean and the lifestyle is something you would want. It's a beautiful house. He looks good. He's tanned. Everything looks brilliant and you would want this life.
Meditation, getting in the car, all little clicks on the car.
It's a Lamborghini.
Now he's lifting.
He's lifting, but we like, this is a personal trainer. We've watched 3 seconds of him lifting.
Yes.
Now he's in a sauna reading a book.
And I think it's like the Rogan thing that has popularized all of this. Like now it's not, like you say, back in the day, I think it used to be who can get in the gym, who can lift the biggest thing, and who can look the best. Now, all of these gym guys, because you need an extraordinary level of discipline to be good at like fitness in the gym.
Yes.
They are applying that to, like you say,
mindfulness,
skincare, mindfulness, sauna.
Yeah,
they're looking for optimization in every single part of it.
Journaling. It's stuff that isn't traditionally what you might call macho.
Yes, you're right.
Like manifestation.
Yes, for sure.
You know, be consistent in your manifestation. Like something a lot of them talk about is expose yourself to sunlight earlier in the day to make sure you sleep better at evening. Literally touch grass. Yeah. And I think it's essentially modern masculinity.
It is, yeah.
This is modern masculinity. I think it's different to metrosexuality in a lot of ways. I think metrosexuality was less buff, less hench, less kind of mechanically refined.
Right.
This is...
And a lot of these people, a lot of these men, again, these like extraordinarily disciplined, fit men are like not drinking, not taking drugs, not indulging in like, I know Thomas Moore's talked about like kind of not seeking sexual gratification and stuff like that. It does seem to be this like, I think he has a partner now, but not like having meaningless one night stands and that kind of thing.
It's like every
it's relatively
element
conservative.
of your life.
Yeah.
Yes, it's conservative.
Yeah.
It's considered.
Right.
And it's disciplined, and there is not much space for spontaneity.
No, I don't think so.
Deviance from the plan.
Yeah.
Or for letting yourself fuck up. And one thing I like about TM Cycles, the guy that we're both talking about, is he will admit. He will say, he'll be like, I tell you what, I need to get on it today because I fucked up last night. Spent all night playing Xbox and eating Dominoes. I need to sort. And that is very rare. And I think it's interesting because it's all about discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. Coming back to what he was saying a moment ago, he uses the kind of Jesus thing as like the I am a leader rather than a follower. And I would kind of counter that by saying like, but you aren't leading in relation to the way you're training and looking after yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You are following a plan.
Yes.
And you do not deviate. And you don't seem, what a lot of them don't seem to kind of advertise about themselves, is that there's not much space for innovation. Right. Now, when I say innovation, I'm just like trying something different.
Yeah.
Moving around a bit, trying a different thing, try getting up late. Like if you read about any of this stuff, be it nutrition, be it training, blah, blah, the science behind all of it is pretty fucking woolly.
Yes.
Yeah? Like, whatever we're talking about, seed oils, fucking how to squat, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can spend hours of your life reading the best way to do a deadlift. Yeah. You can then find a fucking huge guy, as hench as you would want to be,
says the exact opposite.
Who does it the exact opposite, who does it with bad form.
That's why they're all experts in a way, because there is no consensus.
And if there was a consensus, we would all just do it.
Yes.
And that is the kind of fallacy of all of it. And I find it quite... And it's like, I don't think any of you are leaders, because you are all... There's something quite Catholic about it. You are all committed to suffering in service of discipline, in service of like the routine, in the plan. Stick to the plan, bro. Stick to the plan. It's like... Fucking, you all seem like caged animals to me. And that, by the way, this is not caged animals to me as the innovator. I am not the physical innovator. No. I am not. I am proud of myself.
We were not the first people to sit on a sofa with microphones.
I am not the first person to wank myself awake. This is a chimpanzee. I am a monkey. I am. They are. What's the diagram of man? Kind of going from
the ascent of man. Yeah,
the ascent of man.
Yeah,
they are trying to go one step along.
Right.
If anything, I'm trying to go backwards.
You're trying to go the other way.
Genuinely, I'm coming on myself to get out of bed. I'm eating awful things at awful times all of the time.
Yeah.
I'm doing more drugs than I was years ago. I'm drinking every day. And do you know what?
Yeah.
I don't actually think I look that different to the guys who are doing that stuff. And that is, and I tell you fucking now, and I sat with a good friend of mine this morning, drinking coffee that I shouldn't drink, with sugar in it, refined sugar that I shouldn't have, looking as good as I think I've looked in a while, yeah? And I said, I'm happy. And he went, you're happy, aren't you? Like, I didn't even say it. He was like, we were just talking about our lives, me and my mate. It was Mike Rice from Mike and Victoria's podcast.
Right.
And we were just chatting, and I was like, you're happy. We're both happy. We are fucked. Mike Rice, yeah, he's a really good friend of mine, right? He is incredibly unhealthy
Does he mind you saying this? Is he going to mind you
I
saying
don't
this?
think so, because he
Okay.
talks about it on his podcast,
Okay.
right? He likes Pringles so much, he wears Pringles socks.
That's class.
He wears socks that are branded with Pringles on. That's because he loves Pringles.
Men are class.
He will eat a tube of Pringles every day if he wants to. Like, and I think
that's an Irish thing, because I'm a big crisp guy as well. I'm not as Irish as him, though.
I've spoken for a long time there, but do you identify with anything that I'm saying?
No,
of like,
I 100% do.
I think there is, of course, a benefit to routine and a benefit to discipline, and I think most people, it is true. And by the way, like, I say this as someone who does go to the gym 2 or 3 times a week. I say this as someone who does do exercise where I can, choose steps where possible, eat fairly healthy, right? But like, I don't do that.
No, I think you're 100% right. And it did resonate with me a lot as you were saying it, because I've been doing this thing with Rob, who's from Zach Southall Fitness, and he's the man. He's such a nice bloke.
Yeah.
But the other reason that these people can do this is because their lifestyle, the coach's lifestyle, is specifically suited to that flexibility.
You cannot live a coach's lifestyle because they're getting paid to live a coach's lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's absolutely insane to try and live
So
like
what
a coach.
I've done is I've been doing it for 4 weeks, and I think I've gone to the gym at least twice all 4 weeks, but I should have been going 3 times. But the third time I've always struggled because I've been at work.
Yeah.
And I can't leave work, and I don't get home till like 9 o'clock or whatever, or 8 o'clock, and then it's like I've got to eat my dinner. Do you know what I mean? And it's like
I've got to see my wife.
Or I've got to see my wife.
And I see a lot of these. And I'm not saying that Rob was actually this. I see these fitness guys. I'll just interrupt you very quickly. Yeah. I see them sometimes. They'll put up these things, and it's like saying you don't have time. That's just because you're prioritizing other things over training. And I'm like, yeah, it's called my children and my wife and my alcohol habit.
But it's like I do think I could probably be better. But I think now I think it's the healthy choice to be like, I'm going to sit at the table and have dinner with Emma for an hour rather than come through the door, put my gym clothes on and go back out again.
And then have a bottle of Huel.
Which
you could do.
Which I could do.
Yeah,
and I'd be fucking unhappy. So I like what you said is completely right, is that I rate those guys. I rate TM Cycles. Like, go for it. Do you know what I mean?
But
optimize your life.
I think
if it makes you happy.
I think he specifically is a different case.
Right. Because he's open about when he fucks up.
Well, and I'm sorry, I don't want to make this a whole... I feel like we've spoken about this fucking TM Cycles guy who's a fucking personal trainer in Surbiton rather than Ashton Hall. But what he speaks about that I fucking love, he's like, I'm doing therapy at the moment, and by the way, he wouldn't mind me saying this because he puts this on his story.
Yeah, I've seen it.
But he's like, I'm doing CBT, and he's had some like gut problems, and he's like, my therapist says that I'm too much of a slave to like control
and routine,
and when I break from that, the anxiety has a psychosomatic effect that actually produces gut problems.
And then you think you need to do the routine even more, right? To like,
and you get even more stress. The cortisol runs through your body, the stress hormones, and fucks your gut. That is, mate, I thought I had IBS. And I mean, I guess I did. IBS is just needing to shit all the time, right? But it was, and I remember, I look back now, it was lockdown, or like 2020, 2021. It was just after my daughter was born. I had no money. I had no means of making money because comedy clubs were shut. And I was stressed and I was fucked. And honestly, I couldn't leave the house in the morning because I knew I'd need to go to the toilet.
Right.
Like, and now, you know, as long as I wank myself awake. But
no,
do you see what I'm saying?
I definitely feel that, where it's like, I do want to get better and I do want to look after myself and I want to eat properly. But like, if it's like, again, like slavish to the point of like self-punishing.
Yeah.
Then I do think, but then I guess the counter argument to that is like, in order to see results, you do need to change, right? Like, so, because you have this awareness of like, if I go out and drink 6 pints or whatever, that's like a shitload of, like, that's bad for you, isn't it? But like, so I don't want to just excuse, like, change doesn't happen without change. So you do have to kind of temper your routine a bit.
You are what you do.
Yeah.
I believe that more so than anything. You are what you do. You are the things that you do on a regular basis. If you do drink 6 times a week and eat shit, you are someone who does that.
Yeah.
And you will look like someone who does that,
right,
and you'll
right.
behave like someone who does that. That's me. I've accepted that. And actually, I want to do that. Every single day that I drink, and I do drink a lot, I would say, more often than not,
Right.
4 or 5 times a week.
Yep.
Yeah? Every time I drink, I want to.
Right.
And every time I do, I've now got to the point where I say to myself in my head, I'm like, by the way, you are going to look like someone who drinks 4 or 5 times a week. And I go, well, yeah, that's because that's what I am.
Thank you.
Yeah. Literally. He is what he is.
Yes.
He looks like a man that trains 6 times a week every single day because he is a man that... What do you want? Do you want to be that?
No one wants
Honestly,
that life. No one wants that life.
I've known guys like this. I've known big guys. By the way, I just want to pause quickly to say, when they run, it looks so funny.
Yeah.
A guy that's that jacked running looks fucking hilarious.
Wobbling about.
Oh
yeah.
my god, it's so he puts up a lot of videos of him running.
Whereas I run, I look like a gazelle.
He does a lot of sprinting. He's too big to sprint.
Yeah.
It looks like, you know, when like you see like people when they train sometimes they put like parachutes behind their backs.
Yeah. He looks like he's going zorbing in one of those suits. Looks like he's about to do a sumo thing.
But it's like I don't run. And I've accepted I will never look like someone who runs because I don't run.
But to bring it back, right, so do you think that the reaction to him, where everyone's like, fuck off, mate, wind your neck in, do you think that's heartening then? Because we are no longer in a situation where people are going like, yeah, this is something to aspire to. There are a very small minority of people that are like, yeah, I'm going to optimise every aspect of my life. Ice bath in the garden. I'm going to install a sauna upstairs, blah, blah, blah. But like most people are just like, you wouldn't want to live like that with that degree of rigidity, with that degree of like you say, there's no mates in there.
It's a lonely life.
I think that is the thing of like, can you find the balance between doing healthy stuff and not being like the bloke who, when you go for a beer with your mates, is like, I'm actually going to have like vodka and slimline tonic.
Well, it's like Coach Carnival can, right?
Yeah.
The guy
without being a psycho,
diet,
it is just balance. And I guess now that culture is so weighted towards this grindset lunacy and all of this Andrew Huberman, don't drink coffee until exactly 45 minutes after you get up. Fuck off! I want a coffee now. Like it's just balance, right?
Like you know, and I look at my life and I'm like, that hour, half an hour. That I'll spend in bed, and this will often happen between 7 and half 7 in the morning. I will sit, me and my missus will have a coffee each, and the kids will wake up and they'll come into us and we'll read books to them and chat with them, or they'll bring a toy in. Or this morning we had the kittens on the bed.
Wow,
wasn't covered in piss, thankfully. But like,
and Bootsy the Christmas goose.
That's amazing.
Yes,
that is the happiest moment of my day.
Yeah.
I then go and do things to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Like. What? Get rid of that to do squats?
Yeah.
I don't care what my legs look like.
Yeah.
I care about that more than what my legs look like. I've realised we've spoken for about 15 minutes on this in an episode where both of us are supposed to be talking about our personal trainer in a way to try and sell their services.
Actually, don't want these guys.
And we've just spent 15 minutes saying how structured routine and discipline are fucking shit, and having a drink and spending time with your missus is class. That is the theory from the Screen Rock Boys.
If you want us to do ad reads for you, do get in touch with our agent. We can sort that out for you.
Is there anything else we need to watch?
I don't really think there is. I think that's like a good place to leave it.
I think like it's obviously better to live like that. Like the alternative, I mean, you know, is an alcoholic who looks bad, is gonna die.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I should have a little bit. I'm too far like if there's a perfect middle between discipline and spontaneity and routine and allowing yourself a bit of joy, I'm too far towards spontaneity and blah blah.
Don't have to twist your arm too far for a can of Madry.
You do not? No, I drink too often, and I
like the same, by the way.
I'll say it one more time. I wank myself awake. Yeah, and that's too far. Like, I at the start of this episode, I started by saying all it takes is for us all to have clocs in our eyelids.
Yeah, productivity.
And we'll all be on time.
Yeah.
I know the time. I still have to be covered in cum to get out of bed.
Yeah. What we should do is we should invent a robotic alarm clock that attaches to your penis, and instead. And every morning, they probably have that in Japan already.
Love, honey.
And rather than the alarm going off, it just wanks you awake. With the new love robot.
Out of bed. Guess I'll have to go to the gym now.
Yeah. Well, I hope that's given you a sense of where the line for balance is. Ashton Hall, I hope he's still viral by the time this comes out.
I'm going to be single after this episode, so if anyone wants to go on a date...
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.